Hello, good morning, good evening. How's everyone doing? I am just really disappointed in the vibes that I get when I'm in the United States, and I came here to like check in on some people and to see if they had like evolved at all and to see like what they think about life and where their life is going. And I'm just really disappointed and like not impressed at all by like this amount of self-work that they have not been doing. And this has been like a point of contention for me for quite some time. I just continue to like work on myself ruthlessly and constantly put in that work to make it better and to get closer to my blessings and to prepare myself for what's coming. Um, and everyone has basically stayed the same. And it's even worse than that because they are like upset that, like, people are just so mean spirited here and they're so negative. Like, they're so upset and like stuck in their ways and miserable when they have everything. Like, they have a house, they have a job, they have a family, or they have certain things that other people in the world don't have, or that other people in the world cherish or would die for or would love to have and would just appreciate it so much. And this is just not my place. So, and I just really want to go home. And I've just been like really emotional about it because, like, this is where I was born, but I could just never get down with these people. Like, anytime that, and like, I came here like very happy, because I was in the Caribbean, and it's just like an amazing place with like the most beautiful people in the world, or one of the most amazing places in the world. And everyone is so nice to you and they don't have anything. Like, yes, there are still jealous people there, but um, there's jealous people everywhere. But it's just really disheartening when those jealous types of people are found in your own bloodline and in your own like blood family. And we've talked about this before, how your soul family can be different than your blood family, and that is definitely 300% true in my case. So my soul family lives in South America. I'm going home. I don't care what anyone thinks about it. I don't care what anyone says about it. I've already been accepted into my fiance's village, and the head of the village is like friends with our family, and everyone there is always so welcoming to me, and they actually listen to what I have to say, and they actually want to hear my opinion on things. And that I find to be how life is supposed to be. Whereas, compare it to how I feel here while I'm here, my sister, who is my blood sister, she's not happy for me. She can't even say happy birthday to me. My birthday was 2 days ago, December 10th, and she is just so evil and like mean spirited that she can't even open her mouth and say happy birthday, I'm happy you're safe, just anything, like anything at all. I made my own birthday cake, which is totally fine. Like, I love baking and I love making stuff. Like, but like, she didn't even want to eat any of it, and I just felt like really alone. And my fiance is on the river right now, so like, he's out of internet and out of cell service doing environmental research in the mountains. So he's like sleeping in hammocks and like working with a crew of people. And I can like telepathically still talk to him like when he's gone, but I just can't wait to go home. And like, I'm sorry, I just like really feel like I'm really close to like our Father in the heavens. And he's like, he's just like telling me, I'm sorry. He's just like telling me that it's okay. And like everything's gonna be okay. It's okay that you don't have, it's okay that you found love somewhere else. It's okay that you're gonna like change your citizenship and like start your life in a different country. Like everything's gonna be okay, and like I'm watching over you, and I'm gonna take care of you and your family, and like everyone gets what they deserve. And I feel like that's really what keeps me going. Like in the back of my mind, I know, like my higher self and my intuition, like I know that I'm gonna get what I deserve, and that all those people that never believed in me are also going to get what they deserved. My, like the people who framed me, the people who tried to take my career from me, the people who are jealous of me, like jealous people. I just posted on my Instagram today, like jealous people really freak me out because they don't understand life. And so I can pick up on these vibes from people, and I can tell when they're jealous. I can tell when they're just watching you and like watching over your shoulder, like waiting for you to like fall. And they're going to watch gladly as you fall. And so what I'm trying to say is my real soul family would never let me fall. It's impossible. And I would never let them fall. Meanwhile, my fake blood family in the United States has this like cyclical nature where they enjoy watching people suffer. They make fun of people. They put people down. They judge people. Like, which is, it's obviously they don't have the power to judge. The final judgment is not going to be coming from them. So they're very like high-minded, like in terms of it's like a false high horse type thing. And so this gets to my one of my points is like I'm a Sagittarius, right? And I know that like people who believe in God and who believe in our true Father in the heavens, as I do, and I work for him. I know we're not supposed to believe in horoscopes and all this, but I actually think it has something. I think it's interesting to at least think about that, like when you're born, the time that you're born, the time of year, the season, the time that you were conceived. I think those are something to be noted for your personality. Like you can look into all of the professional hockey players are born in like the same month or around the same month. Like it's very interesting when you look into people's birthdays and when you see, how they meet up. Like for example, my soulmate is born halfway through the year. So when you look at the chart, the circular chart, you can see that your karmic partner is like on the opposite side of you. Like their birthday is your half birthday. And so you can look into that and tell me if it's true for you. I know that it's true for me. And it's cool. And so I am a Sagittarius, and I don't feel like I've always been creative. I've always been very lucky. And I always kind of like, everything in my life always works out at the last moment. And it's always for the greater good for everyone involved, not just me. So I have a very like communal way of thinking about my life. I don't just think about myself. I think about it as me being like a puzzle piece to make everything else run smoothly. And that's very true for my real home in South America. Um, so I'm forever grateful to have that opportunity, and like I only can thank the our higher Father in the heavens for that, because he set me up to go. Like he put it into the he just like he wove it into my life. And I it's hard for me to explain to people. Other people think it's very interesting, and if they actually want to know, I would be glad to tell them. So I feel like so you know how Sagittarius is like half horse or half centaur, half human? I feel like I am like living in a fairy tale. And I kind of like, I believe in different things. Like, I believe in mermaids, I believe in vampires, I believe in like reptilians and like reptilian races, and like how they like run the world, but it's like a false running the world. Of course, you know the truth, and that the reptilians work for the enemy, Lucifer, and he pretends like he's like a light being, and he has a false mask, and he actually runs like what I call a soul farm. I think that that's what they're doing, is like they're farming people and brainwashing people, and they want to get as many people as possible, which is why they like put people under spells and use different hand signals and gestures to hypnotize people and to brainwash them and to get them on their side, because you can't be on two sides at once, which is what Kanye West meant when he said that slavery is a choice. Like, it's your choice to sell your soul. That's your, like, a child of Lucifer and a person who follows Lucifer can never touch a child of God and a child of the true creator, because the true creator was the one who created Lucifer from the beginning. So I don't know why they're so confused. I guess they just want the temporary fix of like material money and like security for this time in their life while they're here on earth. And then they just don't care about whatever happens to them afterwards. Like if their soul is recycled, or if their soul is like, eternally dead and they can never have eternal life. So I worry about some of these people. I don't worry about celebrities because it was their choice to sign the contract. I mostly worry about like people, like everyday people, like innocent people who are brainwashed, who won't listen, who won't travel. They think like the US is the safest place in the world, which is actually quite the opposite. And like think about it, like Trump or whatever, he's like an actor, and all of the presidents are actors on a stage, and it's just a temporary position to fill, to like serve the ongoing show for the people who are still brainwashed, and the people who like still believe like CNN and ABC and like all those news channels. Like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, just open your door and open your eyes and get a plane ticket and travel, and you'll see for yourself that there's other places in the world that are happier, safer, they live longer, they're healthier, etc., etc. And so I'm getting a little off track, but what I'm trying to say is a lot of the people in my family have always tried to control my energy, and I feel like I'm like one of those race horses that's like, you have to perform, and you have to run as fast as you can, and you have to be the best. And I feel like I've already won a lot of these horse races, and I've already done the show, I've already performed, I already have gone to university, I've already been around the world to many third world countries, many first world countries, and I'm not bragging, I'm just saying that's how my life went. And I'm already in debt from student loans just like everybody else. Like I feel like I've already been in love many times, betrayed, robbed, manipulated, you know, connections with gangs and mafia people. Like I've already done all these things and I've already seen all these things from like, you know, life experience. And so it's very interesting because it's like I just want to run free with my like wild horse family. And my wild horse family just happens to live in South America and they call themselves jaguars, which is really funny because this is a black jaguar right here. And I love big cats and I've always felt like a connection with big cats. And I always had a lot of Leo boyfriends, and you know, these connections might sound crazy to you guys, but it's going to come full circle. And just look at your life and, you know, take a look at your relationships, the ones that have worked, the ones that have not worked. There's a reason for everything. And there's a reason why my blood family didn't work out for me. You know, like our creator was kind of like always pushing me away from them from the beginning. They were always jealous of me. They always tried to take stuff from me. Like they always wanted to like take my shine and like take my money even. Like take my credibility. That's a big one. Like they always tried to take my credibility. Any chance they got, they would make fun of me, put me down, try and make me look stupid. But really, we know that they're the ones looking stupid because they're the ones that are living a lie. And they're not really on my side. And they will rat you out. They're rats. They'll rat you out just for like a little slice of recognition. And so I never got along with rats. I think that that's just unacceptable behavior. And I would never rat anybody out, even if they were like top of the line, grade A criminal in terms of like, not like a murderer, but like, you know, like dealing drugs and stuff. Like I would never tell anybody about that. And these people who like put me down and like framed me and all those things, like I don't think they're going to have an easy time getting into heaven because they've given blessed people such a hard time, and really the joke is going to be on them. So I'm not worried about it in the long run, but it does upset me on a day-to-day basis because when I'm in the United States, I'm like physically closer to them, so it like brings back the trauma, and it's very traumatizing for me to be here, and no one really cares about that. Like they think that it's like easy for me to return to this land, and really it's actually devastating for me to have to come back here. So I'm not going to be coming back for a long time. Either I'll be in South America or I'll be going directly back to directly to China. And they're not even giving me a lot of money for the whole China thing. They are also sort of like questioning my credibility, like in terms of they usually take teachers who are like, it's their first rodeo and it's like their first time traveling and they don't know anything and it's like their first job out of college. Meanwhile, I have like 10 years of work experience, and I've already taught in third world countries. I've already taught in universities, and I've already done all of the unpaid internships, all the environmental research for various governments. You know, I've already ran the races. Like I told you, I already won all the races that I was supposed to win. So that's kind of what I'm talking about. I'm ready to run free, and I'm ready to forget about the haters. Like I really am ready for that. And so I'm looking forward to it, and I'm not really happy right now because I'm still here. I have to think about the future, and that's the only thing that keeps me going is like, you know, I'm going to be able to return to my real family, and they're not going to give me a hard time, and they're never going to let me fall. So I just have a couple things to talk to you guys about. I have notes here that I'm going to tell you about, and maybe it'll spark more information, and maybe we can talk more, but this is going to be my last video for a while because I'll be out of internet. So we'll see what happens. So number one, reptilians are real. There's a body of people in South America that are like wild people, and they are half human, half like Canaima. They're called Canaimas, and they eat other people. So they go for like weak spirited people, like weak minded people, and also physically weak people, like really, really skinny people, or like old, sick people who have a weak soul and who you can get to easily. So in South America, people go camping a lot on the river, and they sleep in lines of hammocks because they put like a temporary campsite up. So it's like a temporary like tarp, and the hammocks are in a straight line, and they always say don't sleep on the inside of the hammock line because that's the weakest person, and that's who the Canaima go for, because they're like, oh, this person's soul needed all these other people's protection. So you're going to be safe if you're on the outskirts of the hammock line, because that's a signifier to the Canaima that you're strong enough to take them on. Kind of like how I feel when I'm up against evil people. Like, I will raise my hand first, and I will go up against them first, because I'm not scared of them. And like all these like Luciferian type people, like, yeah, they do freak me out, but they're I know that they're weaker than me, so it's like there's no competition really. Celebrities obviously have a contract with the reptilians, which is directly connected to the Catholic Church. You can look at the Met Gala theme for 2018. The whole thing was Catholicism based, and it was just really disgusting and disturbing. They like think that they're so like slick, and they think that they're so you know, it's like they're hidden in plain sight. And they clearly have a contract with the Vatican. So the Vatican, the Catholics, and the reptilians are kind of like a massive group, and they're controlling the resources in Antarctica. You can look that up. And they're sort of, you know, doing the same things that they've always done: human trafficking, child abuse, trauma. You can look up the restaurant in California. They serve human meat at this restaurant in California, and it's like invite only, so it's a very closed circle of like elites, and they think that they're so elite, but like really it's all fake. And yeah, they own all the money and they have all the money in the banks, but they really don't know what they're talking about when it comes to like spiritual stuff, and they're completely confused, sold out. They already gave their soul up, so they have no control, they have no power, and they know that they're weaker, which is why they always look empty. So the main thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about is the FDA and how they are cloning animals now, and you can look it up on their website. Like, my evil sister, who's like probably brainwashed, she is like, and jealous. She like never believes. She's like, oh, you're joking. Like, when I tell her that it's legal to eat human meat in the UK, and it's legal to do human cloning and animal cloning, and you can just look it up on the FDA website. Like, people like her are like living in like a level such low of a level that they're like, oh, that can't be true, and they're living in denial. And it's like, dude, sorry, but like, you need to get it together, get with the program, and get your facts straight. Like, I know the truth is hard to digest, but like, you need to get on the side of the truth. So you can look up on the FDA website that they're cloning animals for US meat. Like, meat and dairy products are now coming from cloned animals, because they don't have enough animals to supply the demand for the fast food chains Every single menu has meat on it. Every single grocery store in the whole entire country has a dairy aisle. You know, it has to be fully stocked. They have to always have eggs, cheese, milk, and a lot of the milk and the cheese has pus in it from the cows being over milked, and those machines that they use are so harsh on the cows' udders that they start to break them open and cause infections, and then the pus from the infection and the bacteria goes into the milk and then into the cheese. So there's a certain percentage that the FDA is allowed to pass, a certain percentage of pus that is allowed in these products. And I mean, I'm sure that they're just going and doing whatever they want, because the FDA is supposed to regulate the pharmaceutical industry, the pharma, and they're also supposed to regulate the medical the medical supplies, the pharma. I'm trying to say the tools that they use to give surgeries and the tools that they have in hospitals. That industry is way more powerful and makes way more money than the big pharma. So there's like levels to the amount of power, and then the FDA is expected to regulate everything. But the FDA is already in with the CIA, and they're already connected to the reptilians. So of course they're not going to do their due diligence. I mean, they already have a contract with Lucifer to like F everybody over and give everybody cancer and make it seem like they're doing a good job because they're from the government. Like, just look up the definition of government. It's mind control, controlling people, making them all dumb down so that they can lose their connection with the higher, the real power, which is our true Father. So we have cloned animals. Human cloning has been going on, as far as I know, since World War II. It could have been before that, because they have this thing where they erase history, and only the winners of the wars write the history. So it's only like the reptilian type families, like the bloodlines, who are like the incestual bloodlines. Like, you can look up the family of the Queen of England, Queen Elizabeth. Her direct ancestors are ancestors of Dracula. Like, I forget his name, something the Impaler, and he used to eat people. And it's very well known that the Brits, like the royal family, they're actually just descendants of like vampire type, reptilian type people. And it's right there in front of your face. And so there's been gene splicing going on. There's been clone centers, like underground clone centers, for like the longest. And you can only be on one side. So that's why I never sweat anymore. I don't sweat about if they're more powerful than us, if the world is going to end, if my family is in danger. I mean, my soul family, if my soul family's in danger, like, I always pray to keep them protected, but I'm not worried, because I know that Lucifer, or whatever his name is like a fake, fraudulent, like, I mean, he just looks stupid. Like, he's starting all these soul farms, making all these people famous, making all these people rich, and like giving them all this control. And then he's just going to kill all of them. Like, he doesn't actually care about them, and they're not going to have eternal life. So I don't sweat it when people are jealous and mean and coming from a low level. I mean, that's on you. Like, that's on them. That's their life, and I feel bad for them. And I used to get so upset, and I would cry and cry, and I would just pray for them. But now I'm just like, well, it's your choice. Choose the side that you want to be on. Because if you're not on my side, then we can't talk anymore. And I'm pretty cutthroat about it. You guys know that I'm pretty next level. So I can't wait to join my real family, and I miss them dearly. And I've only been away for like not even a month, and I can't even stand it. Like, I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know who I thought I was to just come back to the States and act like everything was going to be fine. Like, I don't really want to travel that much anymore. I just want to, like, start my life and just be happy and have the blessings that I'm supposed to have. So I hope that you guys are choosing the right side, and I hope that this video gets published. Thank you so much. Love you. Ciao.